Hello, everyone. Welcome to a CIA webinar today. So my name is Yao, and since several years, I am responsible for the CIA working group KSL. So today, I will give you a short introduction or overview of the KSL ecosystem and the actual availability of the KSL products. Okay, then we start. For the people who don't know very well about any automation, so about us, so a short introduction of our organization. So we are non-profit international users and manufacturer group for CAN, and we have now more than 700 members. So the aim is to promote CAN and to provide the platform for the further development of CAN technology. And we provide also the chance for our members for marketing opportunities and also social networking. And yeah, our members could exchange their knowledge and in the community. And the most important task of us is we maintain and develop specifications and documents based of CAN technology, and we support also the international standardization. So the first question is who specifies CAN-XL? So since 2018, the CI Special Interest Group CAN-XL is specifying the CAN-XL ecosystem. So in the meantime, the CAN-XL has established 4 task forces. So they are the physical layer, the higher layer, the security, and the simulation. So relevant topics are discussed in the respective task forces. So in the whole group, the special interest group CAN-XL, so there the experts are discussing the protocol and the conformance test plan for the protocol. And when one important topic at the moment is the application for CAN-XL, and the SIG is solving the problem that the companies have found out during the building the demonstrator. So the CAN-XL is one very active working group. So we have now more than 8 meetings, perhaps about 100, and we have now planned 17 specifications and documents. We have already organized 2 plugfests, and so the related meetings are participated by more than 30 attendees. So they are automakers, tier 1 suppliers, semiconductor manufacturers, and also tool vendors. So like a software tool provider or oscillator manufacturer, and also service provider. So one other important activity of the working group is we have already submitted the CA documents to the ISO standardization. So in the further slides, I will talk about it later in detail. So before we go to the details of CANSL specification, so just to review the CAN protocol history. So there are 3 CAN protocol generations. So the first one, so as known as classical CAN protocol, is the first generation and is standardized in the ISO 11898 in year 1993. And in year 2015, the second generation of the ISO standard, so the -1 standard is released. So in this version, the KFD protocol is also included. In year 2021, so the CIA has released the 610-1 specification. So that is also the CANSL, what we today talking about. And so what is CANSL? So CANSL stands for Extended Data Field Length. So now the international standard 11898-1, and this is also in the under review to include CANSL in the next revision. So to have a direct overview, so we see here on the slide, so the 3 CAN frame format. So the principle of the CAN data frames is not so many changed. So you can see the 3 generation frame format have always so the same fields. So yeah, almost the same fields. And what is mostly changed is the size of the data field. So inside the SIG CANSL and the task forces, so the ecosystem of CANSL is developed. And this slide shows the CANSL related specifications and documents. SIG CANSL and the task forces are working the last years very intensely. So we have now 6 document series and 17 documents. So they are 610, 611, 612, 613, 120. So on the next slide, so 120 and 910 document series. So the special interest group has already released 3 documents. So they are the 610-1, KSL data link layer requirements. So the 610-3, this is the physical medium attackment sublayer requirements. And also the 611-1. This is the service data unit types for CANSL higher layer services. And the first 2 documents are also already released as draft specifications. So yeah, non-members could also buy the documents with the starter state as from the CIA secretary. So this one, the 611-1 as DSP draft specification proposal. So this is only accessible for the same members. So the other documents are still in the work draft status. So, and one of them, yeah, it is at the moment postponed. So, yeah. Okay, then we go into a little details of the document series. So the basic and the most important document of CANSL is the CA16-1 document. So the data link layer requirements. So this slide here is an overview of the CAN protocol of the 3 generations. So you can see the differences of the 3 generations. So for the CAN, for the data field, so the data length, so for the data field, you can see for CANXL it is much larger than the last 2 generations. So CANXL has now 2048 bytes. And very important is that the data length can be changed in 1 byte steps. So that is not possible for CANFD. And yeah. And then the field identifier. So in classical CANFD, the CAN ID is used for both arbitration and addressing purpose. And they have the options, so the 11-bit or 29-bit. But in CANSL, so these functions are separated. So the CANSL protocol has only 11-bit CAN ID. So and has a new field named acceptance field, and has 32-bit. So so this field can contain node address or content identification information, so like message ID. And then, yeah, CANSL has also some new fields like virtual CAN ID or SDU type, and also some new functions like error signaling to configuration and on or off, and also the new transceiver mode switching. So the last 2 CAN generations don't support these new functionalities. And also there are some changes, updates in bit staffing or CRC, and also for bit rate. So CANSL can transmit with higher bit rate. So these all details are specified in the CA16-1 specification. So for CANSL, yeah, this is just one single CANSL MAC frame format. So the name is XLFF. So in abbreviation. So in this document, so in the, as said in the -1 document, you can find out, so how is the protocol defined and what kind of XL frame there are, and how the frames look like, and also how is the bit timing defined. So one other important document of CANSL is the 16-3 document. So here is the CANSL physical layer requirements specified. So that means also the CAN-SIG XL transceivers. So just an overview of the physical layer options. There are different transceiver technologies used in CAN networks. So this slide shows the evaluation of the most used CAN transceiver types today, and also the newly developed transceivers. So the earlier, simplest transceiver is the high-speed CAN transceiver. So it supports up to 1 megabits, and is specified in the ISO-2 document 2016. So then, if you would like to transmit with higher bit rate, so you can choose the CANFD transceiver. so up to 5 megabits. And then if you would like to transmit with higher than 5 megabits, so you could use the CAN-SIG transceiver or CAN-SIG XL transceiver. So the CAN-SIG transceiver is specified in the 601-4. And this is all. This is a new with a new functionality named signal improvement capability, and support CAN-FD frames. And so, if you would like to use CAN-XL to transmit CAN-XL frames, or you would like to transmit with much more higher bit rate, so you can choose the CAN-SIG XL transceiver. So this is specified in the 610-3 document. So the CAN-SIG XL transceivers have 2 modes. So they are the SIG mode and fast mode. So fast mode is to achieve the fast transmit in the data phase, but in the arbitration phase, also the arbitration is allowed in the same frame. So in the SIG mode, the transceiver drives dominant and recessive bits. This is the same as the classical CAN. And in the fast mode, the transceiver drives level 1 and level 0 signals with differential voltage levels of minus plus 1 volt. And optionally, the CAN-XL provides the PWM coding. So this is one side in the CAN-XL protocol controller provides the encoding, and the other side, the CAN-SIG XL transceiver provides the PWM decoding. So since the PCS resides with the CAN-XL protocol controller, so the encoding specification is to be found in the 610-1 document, and the PWM decoding is in the 610-3 document specified. So one hints for the physical layer options. So be aware of there is no strong link between the CAN protocol and the kind of transceiver. So that means all kinds of transceivers can be used for CAN-XL or CAN-FD communication. So the kind of transceiver limits only the maximum possible bit rate. So then in the 610 series, there are also conformance test plan specified. The 610-2 is the test plan for the data link layer, and the 610-4 and -5 are the test plan for the physical layer for the transceiver. So in the 610-5 document, so this one is the interoperability test for heterogeneous networks. So here the test plan comprise nodes with transceiver ICs from different suppliers, and this document recommends interoperability test setups, so by using dedicated transceivers. So this -5 document completes the -4 document, the conformance the conformance and interoperability test plan. And these documents are now under development. And for the physical layer, so the documents are almost technically stable. I think they will be released soon. So the next document series 611. So this series specify additional services and protocols which can be mapped to the KXL data link layer, and also includes higher layer communication and layer management functionalities. So in the -1 document, the service data unit type, so the SDU type is defined. So this type indicates the used next higher layer, the higher layer protocol. And also the SDU type defines how management information such as addressing or data size, so how they are mapped on the LLC frame, and how they are mapped into then the KXL LLC data. So as said, this document is now released, I think in 2022, last year in November, is this document released as DSP. So with this document, with this function, so the tunneling of classical CAN, CANFD, or Ethernet frame via KXL networks are enabled. After CIA has released this document, so AutoZAR has also integrated this document in its November 2022 release. So with Ethernet tunneling, KXL can bring IP communication to any ECU, and use this function. KXL qualifies itself as cost efficient and flexible, and for the future architectures. And for the next steps, so CIA will review the 611-1 document, and will be the following higher layer protocols are considered to add to the next version. Okay, then the next document series is the 612 document series. So this series provides recommendations for system design, such as CAN clock recommendation and CAN clock tolerance, or bit timing setting rules, and also further physical layer design recommendations. So especially in the -1 document. And so it is with this document, so a robust communication with higher bitrate could be achieved easier. And in the -2 document, it gives some guidelines how to configure the PWM coding and how to configure the node if the transceiver mode switching is supported. So that means, if you would like to use the PWM coding function, and so the transceiver should support the transceiver mode switching. Then the next is the CIA 613 series. So here are the KXL add-on services specified. So they can be added transparently and concatenated and independently. So planned add-on services include security functionality, and the other one is the LLC frame fragmentation. So in the -1 document, there's DLX indicator specified. So this indicator includes add-on types and one SEC bit. So they can indicate which add-on services are used. And then in the -2 document, the one security protocol will be specified. So the name of the security protocol is CANSEC. So the aim of this document or the aim of the CANSEC protocol is to protect the integrity and freshness, authenticity, and confidentiality of the data in CANSL network. The -1 document specifies the LLC frame fragmentation. This service guarantees latency constraints of the system in a transparent manner. Because CANSL allows to transmit frames with a maximum of 2048 bytes in the data field. So it is possible that, for example, a CANSL frame at 10 megabits with 2048 bytes, this frame will occupy the network for about 2 milliseconds. So for applications that require transmit high priority control information, so a latency of 2 milliseconds is perhaps too long. So therefore, this service is required that we can allow to interrupt an ongoing transmission. So the next document is the 120. So here we will specify test and measurement method for EMC for the EMC evaluation of CAN SIG transceiver and SIG XL transceiver. So it should be compliant with the IEC document 62228-3 standard. And the aim of the CIA Special Interest Group EMC is to submit this specification to the IEC, and at the end to integrate the CIA document into the IEC standard. So this document will define test configurations, conditions, test signals, or test procedures, setups, and other about the test for the EMC evaluations. Okay, then I think the last document series is the CIA 910. So this series specifies the simulation models of CANSL networks. So such kind of models can support 2 vendors to provide a CAN SIG XL system integrator with necessary tools to approve its network designs with confidence, and furthermore allow the specific analysis of network design issues, so arising in the development phases. They will comprise the physical layer model. So for the transceiver, simulation model for the CAN transceiver, and also for the PMD sublayer. So for example, for commode choke or cables, and also provide in the -4 document will provide some recommendation for models between transceivers and protocol controllers. So at the moment, the -1 document, so the general terms and use cases, yeah, here we provide some description languages and analysis types for simulation. So this one is under development, and the -2 document, so the simulation model for the CAN transceiver, it's also under development. And the other two parts, the -3 and -4, are at the moment postponed. Okay, then the next topic is the ISO standardization. So in 2022, so we CIA has we have submitted the -3 document, the 610-3 document, so the CAN-SIG XL transceiver document, and the 601-4 document. This one is the CAN-SIG transceiver. So for the integration into the next edition of the ISO 11898-2. So at the moment, the draft standard has been balloted positively, and we are now in the ISO working group or discussing some comments, also some technical comments. So we will update the draft standard and then submit to the ISO secretary again. And the next for the 11898-1 standard, so the CAN protocol standard, we have also submitted the 610-1, so the CAN-SL data link layer protocol, and the 604-1. So this is a subset of CAN-FD protocol. So these two documents we have submitted to the ISO, and so yeah, so this ballot will come soon, and after that, yeah, I think we will also update the ISO document. So so at the moment, so the aim of the ISO working group is to release the -1 and -2 document within 2023. And in the meantime, the working group, the ISO working group is also considering the review of the conformance test plan for the data link layer and physical layer. But they will be, yeah, we will start this process after, I think, after the ISO 11898-1 and -2. Okay, then so you can yeah. So the availability of the CAN-XL you can see now on the slide. So this is but this is only the actual status of the CAN-XL products. So in general, the availability it is very important for engineers to adapt their applications to CAN-XL. So with the availability of the CAN-XL IPs, the ecosystem around CAN-XL is quickly expanding. So hardware and software from different vendors are already available or will follow soon. So from some aspect, the IP cores and MCUs and the transceivers and tooling. So I have listed on the slide. So for the CAN XL IPs, Bosch has released their new protocol controller IP. So the module XCAN. So this module can be implemented in SoC and can support classical CAN, CAN FG, and CAN XL. Fraunhofer has also developed their CAN XL IP, but this is distributed via a company named CAST. Besides of these two, NSP and Vector have also developed their CAN XL IPs, but they are only used for their own MCUs, respectively their tools. So, okay, then for the MCU, the availability for the MCUs with KSL on chip, Infineon has announced so one MCU family, and NSP and Renesas and STM Electronics. So they have also, they are developing their MCU series. Some of them have already some samples available. For the CAN SIG XL transceiver, so NSP is developing their proof of concept transceivers, and the samples are already available. And Texas Instruments are developing their transceivers now, I think, and also Bosch has their proof of concept transceiver, and they provide also the samples. So at the end, there are some vendors for tooling and software. So for the CAN XL protocol signal decoder, so the oscilloscope, so the Keysight, Le Corsi, and Hohenschwarz. So they have already demonstrated their protocol signal decoders. And Vector's, so the company Vector's new tool, CAN OE, will also support CAN XL. So if you would like to read some more details of the availability of the CAN XL products, you can visit our CAN newsletter magazine March issue. So there are some more articles about CAN XL. Okay, so at the end, there are already some or several products on the market. So it is very important to test the interoperability of the available transceivers and protocol controllers. So CIA is we have already organized some CAN XL plugfests. So the first plugfest was held on July 2021, so in Nuremberg, Germany. So the IP cores from Bosch, from Fraunhofer, and Vector were under test. And also, we have tested the physical layer interoperability. So NSP and Infineon have provided their transceivers for the physical layer testing. So the second plugfest was held in May 2022, last year, and on this plugfest we have tested so more CAN IPs and CAN SIG XL transceivers. And also the experts have built different topologies to test the robustness of the KSL protocol. So currently, we are organizing the third plugfest. So the date is the April 25th, and the location is Detroit in the USA. So if you would like to know more about this plugfest, you can visit our website. Okay, so this is all from my presentation today. So you can also send your technical questions to our email services, to the technical question to the service email, and yeah, or visit our website. So I thank you for your participating and for listening.